Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. And I hope uh, you all having a very safe, great afternoon and a great anticipation for a new year that is going to be really great, hopefully for all of us. And thank you for taking the time to join me today for a discussion that I hope you're going to enjoy it tremendously. And something that is what we call it, mind energizer, booster. Think of it as you please. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me today for this conversation, the powerful transformation of the mind. We hear so much about it. We talk about it. Some of the issues that we're going to be discussing, you probably have heard it before. And but hopefully the context of what you're going to be hearing is going to be much different. And so what we're going to be talking about the challenges the mind faces, the heart, and the processes that we have embedded in our bodies that actually could lead us to successes or failures, and to understand a little bit how those processes work and how we can control them, manage them, and isolate them. The best of cures is if you know what is bad for you, it will become easier to isolate it or avoid it. Well, it doesn't work all the time, but hopefully most of the times it works for you. And my name is Dr. Abid Baidas, the group chairman and CEO of Identity Branding Forum. Ever since we started in 2007, we have been making headways in research and development to provide services that actually empower people, build sustainable, disruptive brands with experiences that spread over the years with major companies that we had, that they were clients like Nike, General Motors, and the like. And what we wanted to do is create this platform, and that's going to start this year on a weekly basis, hopefully either every Wednesday and every Thursday, to address the different subject matters, challenging matters to most of us, that finds it hard to either talk about or transparently address it in context of our lives, in context of our future. Because most of the times when we think, we only think of now. We don't think of tomorrow. We don't think of the context of tomorrow. We think of emotionally how we feel now, and I want to react according to it. So we are driven by our emotions more than it is our thoughts, our logic, and how we perceive things. So every week we're going to be running those webinars, and we hope you're going to be joining us. We're going to be hosting guests, famous guests from around the world. And at the end of this session, I'm going to tell you who is going to be a brand legend who actually created success stories for movies, famous singers like Michael Jackson's and the like, movies like Jurassic Park, Aliens, and much more of legendary brands that we hear about, but we've known little about the man behind all of this to go. So what we want to do is today is we're going to have that conversation, and it's a part of a series of our Talents of Endearment Career Labs, which is a program of Identity Branding Forum, to help actually or to enlighten you for the things that is actually blocking you from thinking right. So it is about mindset change. So sit back, enjoy, and let's get started with this conversation. Now, we always say it is not what you see, it is how you see it. Now, if I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, in this meeting, please write in the questions and answers. What do you see in this picture? 1 minute. Just write what you see in this picture, please, in the Q&A. Anybody want to try? Hello? Anybody there? Anybody want to try it? What do you see in this picture? Okay. What we have here, okay, you see a horn. We are a bull with dangerous horns. Well, that's the image. That's the picture. That's what's there. True. Is that all what you see? Could be a metaphor for something else. And if it is, what is it? Now let's carry on. Somebody that is a chicken can see a dangerous environment, hostile environment that's in front of me. Somebody that's positive could see this as to be tough, strong, to take, not let any barriers on your way. So that's a perception of how you see that image that is in front of you, right? So and this is what we say: don't let your mind play tricks on you. So we always, how we see things normally is based on the reactions of the past. If we, in the past, for example, if we had a bad experience with a bull, we might have a bad experience of when we see a bull in the future. If we had a great experiences of much more dangerous things that we've enjoyed, like an adventure, then we're going to see this is a beautiful opportunity. So it's the way we think, it's the way how we perceive the images in our life based on what was previously recorded in our mind. But here's the important question: what shapes up our perception and our thoughts? Now, if we understood how that process works, things becomes much easier for us to go on. It's always said we are a product of our habits. Very true. There is a powerful statement that said, a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that are acquired through repetition. Incidences that happens in your life through time, repeating itself, unconsciously becomes part of our thoughts. We don't know it. We don't realize. A habit is when you have done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your mind. When we were kids, we all had that experience. When you touched fire, when your mom and dad told you don't touch fire, we didn't listen. We touched fire. So now it registered in our mind that fire is gonna burn me. It's gonna hurt. So in the future, when I come to that, I don't do it again. So if you think about it, people wake up in the morning, they begin to think about their problems that impacts them. So normally when we sleep on a problem, we wake up with that problem. It's registered in our mind. We keep thinking about it. We're worrying about it. Coronavirus is out there. Vaccines working, not working. A lot of the stuff that we hear is impacting our decisions when or our feelings when we wake up in the morning. So we don't realize we don't realize what's really making us bad. We just feel it. It happens, and we wake up on the bad side of our emotions. These problems are circuits and memories registered. How to get rid of them, how to control them, is really a mystery to most of us. We hear about it, we know of it, but we don't really do it. Why? we get, as we go on through this conversation, we're going to be understanding more why this is really happening to us. Each of those memories is connected to people and things at certain times and places. You had a bad experience in one place. When somebody says, "Oh, I don't like the going there for what happened before." Doesn't matter whether they improved or not. Restaurants experiences, shopping malls, whatever. So we never have the courage to change and say, "Well, it was bad the first time. Let me try it the second time." We don't have that right. But there is something that could happen to trigger me to try it again. What is that trigger? What is that driver that is going to help me to go through that? Those memories are registered in the brain because the brain is just like your hard drive. Whatever happens, it registers. It doesn't actually think. Something else that gets your mind to work, and it is not thinking. The mind doesn't have anything to do with thinking. It has to do with the storage and distribution of orders. But who gives the orders to the mind? The body. You wake up in the morning and you see a rain, right? All of a sudden you feel lazy. You don't want to do anything. So what you do, stay in bed, lounge around in your pajamas. You don't have the energy to do anything else. But you see, the moment you start your day, you're already thinking in the past or what you see in front of you at that moment in time. Each one of these memories has an emotion. Emotions are the end product of past experiences. That's mostly when we wake up in the morning, and that's mostly what impacts our day when we start in that morning. I'm one person, for example. I made it a habit of mine. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I get to do, I have to smile. Smile. For no reason. Just smile. Get up in the morning and say, Alhamdulillah. Walk up to the bathrooms, showers, do whatever you may have to do. But start, the first thing, when you program your mind, the first thing is when I wake up, I'm going to smile. Tell that to yourself before you go to sleep. I'm going to wake up smiling. I'm going to wake up happy. So it's a trigger factor before you go to sleep is to how to really start thinking positively when you wake up. Because the mind remembers the last impression of you before you go to sleep. Simple. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert in the field, but I'm a naturally by habit, by experiences, learned how to really train myself to be positive, to stay positive. And the only way to stop that, no matter how angry you were before you went to sleep, make sure, write it. Write a joke. Paste it on your wall, next to yourself, to your bed, whatever. To read it first, that will be the first thing you will read in the morning to make you laugh. Put your cell phones away. Put them to sleep. Don't wake up holding your phone, and I'm going to be talking about in a second. There. So, habits we grew up with. This is what registered in our mind. When we were kids, babies, our parents used to tell us, "Oh, don't do this. You hold an egg. Oh, don't touch it. You hold matches. Don't do it. You hold a knife. It's going to cut you. It's going to hurt you." So we grew up with commands, prompts that scares us more than actually push us to action. We grow up with prompts that actually holds us back. Subconsciously, we don't realize this is some of the things that scares us. And we actually unconsciously, we transmit it also to our kids, our grandkids, as we grow up. But that's something, that's the most critical part in our upbringing. How the environment actually created or actually programmed the processes of our body, how to react. So we became a reactor of what others has been feeding us when we were baby. And that carried on with our lives as we went on. So the moment we recall those memories or those problems, of the past when we were kids. All of a sudden, we are unhappy. I get a bad spanking when I did this. I was beaten up by a bully when I walked into school my first day and in school when I started in school. So all of these memories, whenever it hits you, and it registers. But how to get rid of them? Reformat your mind. You need to start thinking of your processors, and that's exactly what I want you to keep thinking about while we are going through this conversation. Is I have a processors that I need to control. I have a processors that I need to manage. I have a processors that is actually holding me back from the things that I want to do. But here's something else, okay? And we passed the childhood age. Now we have another story to share here. And let me tell you the story of the eagle and the chickens. Some of you have probably heard it before, but let me share it again because it's in context of the subject discussions that we have. There was an eagle living up in the mountains, had eggs. One of them fell down to the mountain and ended up in a basket of chickens' eggs. So when those eggs hatched, the mother was nurturing those chickens, those eggs, watching them, taking care of them. When they hatched, this little eagle hatched among chickens. Okay? Now think. So the mother didn't know this eagle it's not hers. But she just started raising this eagle just as her baby. So the eagle started actually learning to pick the worms off the ground, learning how to walk like a chicken, learning how to eat like a chicken, and learning how not to fly like a chicken. So that eagle one day saw eagles flying in the air. They looked like him, and he looked at his mother chicken, and he said, "Mom, those looks like me. Why can't I fly like that?" He says, "Oh, no, that's dangerous. Because you're not an eagle, you're a chicken. Okay? You can't fly. If you fly, you're gonna drop, you're gonna die. And you can just keep picking up the worms so you don't starve to death. Because when you fly, you're not gonna be able to reach those worms. You're gonna have a hard time." So this little eagle kept on living, thinking like he's a chicken. Okay? Until one day, a big eagle flying in the air looked down to the ground and saw this eagle among chickens. Went down, put this guy on the side. He says, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing with these chickens? You're an eagle." He says, "No, I'm a chicken." He says, "No, you're an eagle. Look at you. Look at me. You look like me. You're an eagle. Your ancestors are eagle. You're not a chicken. You have nothing to do with chickens." He says, No. This is my mom. These are my brothers. When I hatched among them. So I must be a chicken. So this big eagle couldn't convince this little baby eagle that he's an eagle. After a few arguments with this little eagle, what does this big eagle do is fly up and then come down, pick up this little eagle up, fly them up in the air as high as possible, and then let go of him. So at first, the little eagle was scared. Didn't know what to do. Then all of a sudden, natural instinct hit, and he started moving his wings and started flying. And in a short while, he became just astounded that now I can fly. I am an eagle. But what happened is it took a force that actually pulled him out of where he is, out of his mindset, which is a chicken, because he believed himself as a chicken, that now he discovered he's an eagle. But most people are like that. And other things that influences us, the first is the environment. The first one is the things that happens to us during our childhood. Don't do this, don't do that. Then the next thing is the environment that we are raised in and the associations that we have. The next thing is the rumors. Most of you probably saw this picture yesterday. Rumors basically is tell a lie, repeat it as many times as possible that people start believing it is the truth. This is what Donald Trump did in the United States when telling that it's fake, the election was stolen, fraud, that people just believed that in that after so many repetitions, and people in his party, they just went out and ran their way into the Congress in the United States yesterday, unfortunately. Now it's clear and set. But the rumors actually registered. And this is what happens today. We are impacted, and our thoughts processes are impacted by what we hear in the media. Reality. We hear something good, we hear something bad, we are impacted. It registers. We get scared by it. Okay? And what we need to do is to start actually filtering this out through our processes. Because how it registers, not everything you hear out there is really good, and not everything that you hear is the truth. So what you really need to start doing, for example, before I go to sleep, the last thing I want to watch isn't the news, isn't the horror movies. I want to watch a cartoon. I want to watch a funny comedy movie. It's a habit that you build yourself to start controlling the positive signals in your mind before you go to sleep. And that's that when you wake up, you've got that energy and your mind is just registering positive, because the mind, the person, it's just like when you start your computer. Okay, you put your computer to sleep, and that computer actually, when you reopen it again, it will reopen where you left at. Okay, so and that's where it starts. Where you left at night, it starts. The mind is the same way. So where you are left at night, with the impression that is left in your mind, registered in your mind, you're gonna wake up to a happy start of your day. So what you really want to do is think in terms of how really the things that makes me feel great, happy. So when it registers, you consciously, unconsciously wake up happy, because that's the last thing you saw. You don't want to see miserable stories. You don't want to see murder movies, horror movies. Watch something that is funny. Cartoons are good. I love the Roadrunners, the Bugs Bunny, and the Happy Birds. Okay. Now the other thing is the naysayers. Okay. Now you've got so many naysayers around you that it drives you crazy, because no matter what you do, those naysayers are gonna come say, "Don't do it. It is bad for you." And it's like a cross out there. And think, all of those names are like cross. Do you know what the crow does to the eagle? Crow is the only bird that actually dares to attack eagle. So when the eagle's it comes near the crow, or the crow nears the eagle gets on the eagle's back and start picking on him. So what does the eagle do? He doesn't pay any attention to the crow. And all what he does, he just keeps flying up as high as possible until that crow cannot breathe anymore, give up, and fall away from the eagle. So what you really need to start thinking about when somebody say, "No, you cannot do it, this is not good for you," you need to think higher than that. Okay, it's all in our attitude. So if you keep thinking higher than the negative, your positive will prevail. It's a reality. Okay? So don't listen to the naysayers. Now what we need to do is, here's something else that is really challenging. Okay. So when people grab their cell phone, now I'm going to talk about it, and start checking their WhatsApps. Who doesn't do that? I do that probably less often than most of you do. And sometimes I do it more often, because until I realize that I'm spending more time with my cell phone than I am with my beautiful wife. We start checking our Facebook. We check our tweets. We take pictures of our feet and post it. We do our tweets, okay, and we check the news, and now we feel really connected to everything that is known to our life, known to us, and we go through this series of routine of behavior on a daily basis, unconsciously knowing now we are being controlled by the elements, by the tools that keeps us connected to the things that actually could help us escape our reality because we cannot face it, or we don't have the alternative to keep us busy connected to everything else. So what we really need to do is to break away from this, so that so start watching yourself on a daily basis. How much time do you spend on your WhatsApp? You have every one of us on your cell phone. You have counters. Now most of those social media accounts, they tell you how much time do you spend on your social media. Try to program yourself, not more than an hour a day. Can you do that? Most of us will say, I can, but do it. If you can't do it, how much time do you spend? So for example, with me for the day, I don't spend more than an hour on my social media, only to follow what people in my network says and don't say. But I don't really chase everybody else out in my network. I don't have the time for it. So what I do basically do that, and then I watch in the morning and in the early evening news. So I don't hear all the things that is going on badly around us. So what you really need to do is start controlling those your habits, your appetites, so you are not caught up to become addicted to smoke, the smoke of your behavior, of things that you cannot control in your life. Limit them, because you can't. You need to start working on something important. Put your cell phone away, so you're not interrupting yourself that sanity time to focus, because that mind really is a process. If it only functions at one function at a time. So if you try to bring it, plug it with so many things you're trying to do at the same time, it's like a computer. If your computer, you have so many applications started at the same time and you're trying to work on them, what happens? Crashes. Your mind is like your computer, because it follows the instructions that you give it. So what you really need to do is to start, in order to start getting rid of all of those controls, all of those elements, you need to really start understanding what's going on. We wake up in the morning, okay, in bed, the same side every morning. I sleep on the right, my wife on the left. Every morning, it's on the same side. I couldn't convince her to change sides, but think of it. You have a habit to sleep on the same. You get up in the morning on the same side of the bed. You go to your toilet, you have a shower, a coffee, get dressed, drive you to work on the same way, and do the same things over and over again. It becomes your routine. Okay, you see the same people with the same look on the road, focused, holding their steering wheels. I'm sure every one of you is. Nobody is. You're not telling anybody's rear end in the cars, driving them crazy. But this is what's happening every day, and you see the same people every day. You push the same emotional buttons every day, and that becomes your routine. And it becomes you like a program, okay? Day in, day out, throughout the day, throughout the night. Same thing that you are doing. And until you get to the points where your mind is emotionally down, you're feeling emotionally down, because your mind isn't really being fed anything that is in you. And that's what really keeps pulling you to social media, movies, and the likes, because you want to be connected to something else to get you disconnected from the reality that you have nothing to do. And the more you occupy yourselves with things to do next morning, the stronger your emotion is going to be when you wake up, that is going to drive you out of bed excited. For example, you plan yourself that I want to start working out at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had that problem before. Wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm awake. I get that feeling that, hey, I didn't have enough sleep. I feel lazy. I feel tired. I'm not up to it. How many of you suffer from that syndrome? How many of you had that kind of lazy reaction to the things that we do and we do not do? Okay? So you really need to start understanding those controls and how it works. So when that creates a perceptions, you remember when we talked about an image and a perception with that ball? That's created a perception. So now we are unconscious, we have unconscious habits, we are developing for ourselves, not knowing this is bad business for us. And this is a hardwired attitude, beliefs, and perceptions that function like a computer program. So now we're controlled by. So when person can say, I'm sorry. So when you say now 95% of who we are by the time we are 35 years old, this is a study, is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions. Okay, we grew up with that. That's why we have followers, we have leaders. Unconscious habits, hardwired attitudes, beliefs, perceptions that functions like a computer program. So that a person can say with their 5% of their conscious mind, okay, like I said, I want to wake up in the morning, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to be free. But the body is on a whole different program because we don't realize that the body controls the mind. The mind only stores information. So if you are, if this hand, you leave it lazy, not worked out, sooner or later it's going to be weak. It's not going to hold anything that is strong. So your mind is registering your hand is weak and cannot hold or pick anything, right? It's natural. Try it. Try anything that is not accustomed to your body. What is the first thing that comes up to mind? That you cannot do it. Okay? But until you try, until somebody shows you that you can do it, like the eagle thought he's a chicken, now he is not a chicken. Okay? Now, it's a reality that the emotions that we carried through our life created the subconscious program. Without us knowing it, automatically, it's hot out there. I don't like to go out there. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to ruin my clothes. I don't have anything to wear. We create excuses, all kinds of excuses. For example, if you give somebody, say that there is a 70% sale on a beautiful dress, tell that to a woman, okay? Or a man, a suit. Wow, that's a good deal. Goes and buys it. It's an emotional reaction of something that I like. Okay, I like it because my body looks good within it. But if you say you have 70% saving on a training program that is going to help you become a leader tomorrow, we create all kind of excuses not to do it. Because why we're doing it the first time, it is because we feel what we are getting saving for. The second, we are not. Because we are not powered by information. We are not empowered by knowledge. We are not driven by passion. Passion is a drive. It's something that is hidden, you cannot see it. But what actually brings it out, what moves it out, is a secret that is associated with how you program your mind. Now it becomes relevant of what the things that you see and you don't see. Now, so then how do you begin to make those changes? Well, you have to get beyond the analytical mind, because what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. We always try to analyze things. Like I said, if I get a saving, 70% saving on a beautiful dress or a perfume, I analyze it. Well, it makes sense because I see it, I can feel it, I tried it before. And I try to rationalize it, and the same analysis, put it on knowledge, cannot see it. You create all kinds of excuses. So stop analyzing things. What you really need to do is create a diagram for everything that you see and go through your life. Is when how to evaluate everything. If there is something that I'm gonna buy, how that can benefit me. Okay, don't worry about the savings that you're gonna generate. How that's gonna affect me? How it's gonna change me? How that's gonna make me feel better? How that's gonna impact my future? Now, why I'm saying this, because the only things that is gonna impact your decisions when you are focused on tomorrow, the future. Now I can start creating relevancies. I can start creating the prompts that pulls me closer to the future rather than the past. It starts programming the mind to break away with the thoughts and start getting it used to accepting new thoughts. So there's rational or irrational. Okay, who would rationally think? In 2002, we started with e-learning in the Arab world. Okay, we had the largest e-learning platform developed out of the United States for the Arab world. When we started promoting this platform back in 2002, most of presidents of universities laughed at us. He says, students don't want this. They want the university life. They want the university campus. They don't want to be behind a computer and live. And when we said we're going to have a day that the students were going to be studying through their watches, they laughed at us. They thought we are insane. 18 years later, what happens? Thanks to Dr. Corona, now all of those universities presidents that were suspicious of what we said back in 2002, that was irrational then, now it's rational and chasing their tails of how to make it happen. So you don't want to be looking at rationally irrational. So always think, only crazy people, Steve Jobs says, only crazy people will have the tendency to change the world. While 99% of the people around you, they're going to tell you you're going to be crazy. Say, I'm crazy in your recognition means to me that I'm going to be a leader tomorrow. Accept that, be proud of it. Don't take it as an insult, because look at Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all of those multi-billionaire successful people, they were kicked out of the school. All of them. Einstein. None of them really was the master in his trade. And there's a true story that says, if you want something to fail, give it to an engineer. They will keep it in the lab to make it as perfect as possible. Nothing perfect in life. So accept the irrational to be the new norm, because now we have been tested and put it to reality last year. And we're going through that norm, the new norm again, and perhaps we're going to be discovering another norm before the end. This year is over. Again. So I want to share with you this video of Mr. Arnold and what he's saying.
It's all about the hard work that you put in. I said to myself, in bodybuilding, I worked out 5-6 hours a day. I'm going to do the same thing now for acting. And of course, I went to college to study English. I studied the accent removal, acting classes, and all of this stuff all day long. I worked and I worked and I worked. And within a short period of time, I made one movie called Hercules in New York, which of course went right into the toilet. But it didn't discourage me. I still had the same vision. And then all of a sudden I did Streets of San Francisco. I did Stay Hungry and Pumping Iron and The Villain. And then all of a sudden, I was asked by Dino De Laurentiis and by Universal Studio to star in Conan the Barbarian. And after I did Conan the Barbarian, the director at the press conference said to the press, The director was John Milius. He said to the press, if we wouldn't have had Arnold, we would have had to build one. So think about that. The very body that they said can never be sold because the time is wrong. A few years later, I'm doing Conan the Barbarian, and it was the #1 hit at the box office when it came out in the summer of '82. Think about that. And the director says, if we wouldn't have had his body, we would have had to build one. So all of a sudden, my body became an asset, not a liability. And the same thing was with Terminator. After we were finished filming Terminator, Jim Cameron said to the press, if Arnold wouldn't have had that accent and talked like a machine, I think the movie wouldn't have worked. So think about that. The body and the accent that they attacked was an asset. But I didn't listen to those losers. I didn't listen to them at all. It's just the reality of it is that you cannot listen to the naysayers. So this is a very important lesson for all of you. So when someone says, no, this is a stupid idea, you in your mind, you don't have to say it, but in your mind just say to yourself, you asshole. What do you know?
And what he's trying to say, that his success was because of the things that people thought were wrong with him. He focused on building his body because he wanted to be famous. That was a reason that he was successfully given the role in the Conan the Barbarian, and the Terminator because of his accent. Where people said you will not succeed, he became he believed in himself and to succeed. So if you want to become who you believe you are, think like an eagle. Don't listen to the words of chicken. Don't let people scare you, because you're going to have those for the rest of your life. And that's what you really need to start getting there, because that is when, for example, meditation, okay? So when you set yourself up, comes in, because you can teach people through practice how to change their brain waves, slow them down, out. When you have a rush, for example, you want to make a decision and you feel tired and angry, close everything, relax, go for a walk, go to sleep. Don't make decisions when you are angry. Don't make decisions when you are tired. Don't make decisions when you're exhausted. Or don't do any work. Just period, relax. Work will never end. But the worst times you're going to start impacting your body, that's going to give controls to the mind how to react, is when you are badly conditioned for the process to accept it right. So what you really need to do is make sure that you are conditioning your mind to register properly based on your best activities of yourself, your emotions. So this way, everything starts registering positive. Tired, sleep, rest, relax. Angry, don't. Allow that to control you. So how do we begin to make those changes? Okay, so most of people wait for crisis or trauma or diseases or diagnosis. They wait for a loss. Okay, they don't live waiting for something great to happen. Pessimistic people will always live to be pessimistic. They always expect the worst. They associate that with their bad luck. They associate that with the environment, the people around them, the envy of others. They blame everything else except themselves of how to do this out. So what you really need to do is really start focusing in eliminating, isolating out all the bad things. Keep adding value to your life. How do you do that? Okay. Stop looking at it. I think people are really start discovering with all the internet, with all the different signals that we are getting out there, we are picking up the right messaging among the mass confusion that is out there. For example, You hear all the kind of stories. Marriages is bad. Love is bad. Nothing happens. Nobody ever been successfully happy in their marriage. That's a crap. If you go into something believing ahead of time, pre-programmed, pretext that it's bad, it's going to be bad. Because our actions now is going to be with unconsciously as a reactions to the way we think. But if you think it's positive, you go in it and says marriage is great, I'm going to be very happy with it. That's how you're going to start programming. The minute you start listening to those to tear that institution down or apart, that's when you start being influenced you turn your positive actions to negative reactions to the bad thoughts you are listening. Keep them out. They are cross, not more than cross, because they try to pull you down, bring you down. Don't listen. Hey, this is a way to measure it. If anything you hear makes me feel bad, close it, throw it away. You don't need another virus in your life. We have enough of them. It's time to really filter them out. And how to do it first is start dreaming big, thinking big. How do you do that? Okay. I'm a poor man today. I can't afford a Rolls Royce, but my dream, I want to start thinking big. Go to a Rolls Royce store. You don't like Rolls Royce, go to Bentley, go to Ferrari, go to Maserati. Doesn't matter what you like, but find something that you would love to have. Go to that store. Thinking in there, I'm going to own that car one day. So your mind starts registering. It doesn't matter whether you can afford it now or not. Your mind starts registering that I'm going to be able to do it. So the minute you start ready to act for it, your mind is going to be it's not going to give you any negative signals. It's going to give you a positive signals. So now you have been driven by positive. Now you think about big expensive homes. Then don't tell yourself, I cannot afford it. I can barely afford to pay up my rent. Don't worry about that. That's a crawl. Think anything that tells you cannot is a crawl. Get rid of it. So go to the most expensive house you can find in your town, your neighborhood, wherever. Go visit, think of it, and tell yourself, I'm going to own that house one day. And that's when your mind started giving you the right controls, because it's registering that images, success. Now the mind is becoming your positive prompts to the rest of your body. When you wake up in the morning, that's registered. If that's great emotions, it's registered. So it's not, you're now becoming the eagle. Now you're breaking away from all the negatives and the things that you can do and you cannot do. What you really need to do, don't settle for a Toyota. Go for the top. I want to buy an airplane one day. Don't let anything controls you. Don't think because you cannot do it, you cannot enter there. Go to those stores, most expensive houses. Convince yourself, I'm going to own it one day. Tell yourselves, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to make that $1 million. And if you tell yourself, I'm going to make $100 million, then you're going to make $100 million. You're only capable of achieving the things that you think of, you dream of, because your potentials are unlimited. But you limit yourself with the way you think. So let go of those emotions. So what you really need to start doing, basically, is I failed math. Okay, you really need to start getting rid of all the bad influencers. Remember, keep thinking. Bad influencers will switch the light off, and you want to keep it on. Get rid of them. Anybody that says no to you on anything you're planning to do, get rid of them, because they're gonna make you feel bad and stop your ambition. People that makes you feel like a chicken, slaughter them. Get rid of them. You don't need them. You don't need somebody to convince you you can or you cannot do anything. That is the last thing. What you really need to do is somebody that is going to help you up. I failed math, but that does not matter. I don't care about math. When people try to correct my English, my spellings, I don't care. Don't tell me how to correct my English. I don't care about whether my spellings is right or wrong. Show me what else I can do to become the greatest person in my field, the greatest person in my world, the world that I want to create for myself. Stop listening to others' noises and start listening to the only noise you make is your own voice, because that was going to impact you. That is going to make it to become the change factors in your life out. So get rid of all of those influences and don't think in terms of what you can and what you cannot do. And the other things, those bad influencers is like those old phones. Okay, they only communicate bad signals. You cannot hear well through those all days. Hello, you can keep up for them, and they are as stubborn as hell. Because one of those phones, if anybody had experience to hold one, you can actually wreck a building with it. It's how heavy. This is how heavy it is. Negative people brains is that. It's that. This is. Think of it. Whenever somebody says, don't argue with them. Walk away, because that's some of those phones you cannot even carry yourself. Why would you want to carry people's heavy thoughts filled with negativity? Get rid of it. You don't need it. Okay, what you need to do is somebody that actually like a smartphone. You need to be like a smartphone, able to accept all applications, different applications, open to different opportunities. That is going to help you grow with your abilities and scale up, because that's when you start becoming something different that no others around you that is there. Now you need to think. The only way it's going to happen is when you start associating yourself with positive people that inspire you, okay? Inspire new ideas, new perspective, and they keep adding value to your life, okay? Somebody that says, that makes me feel great, makes me feel like I'm the Hulk. You make you feel the strongest man in the world, the most intelligent person in the world. That's the kind of people that you need around you, okay? In reality, but only make sure that it contributes to your success and going up the ladder. Keep in mind who is going to help you succeed, make the money to buy that expensive Rolls Royce, buy that expensive house. Okay, it's just a true say. Show me your friends, and I will show you the future you're going to have. Because that association is going to impact the way your mind thinks, the way your mind reacts. Okay, you need people that makes you feel like an eagle, not like a chicken. Okay, what you really need to do is start thinking. Don't think normal. You need to think exceptional. I'm different. Start writing all the ideas that makes you different than everybody else. That's why you need to be associated with positive people. It's only the positive people who will make you feel you are different, you are exceptional, you are a doer. And is there any? I will answer those questions at the very end, inshallah. And what you really, every single one of us has an exceptional ability. Don't believe don't kid yourself that you don't have it. You have it. You have the exceptional ability to do anything you want to do. Anything. God gifted us with that power. The only thing that limits us is here. So to let go of the thoughts, the people that limits here, and open it up. Be a smartphone, not a dull, old, rusty phone. Let go. Let the things. Don't ever stop convincing yourself that you can do and you cannot do the things that you are dreaming of. Now we to create the processes, because most of us has a challenge. We cannot do it ourselves. So what we did, we created a process called Talents of Endearment Career Labs with an antivirus. Okay. Antivirus means it keeps all the bad things away. Okay. To help people think different and change the way they think and control all that influence them. The positive keep them in and the negative keep them out. Isn't that nice? Because what we really we're missing in our life. I missed it in my lifetime. When I left home, Kuwait, to Europe for my education, then the United States, and I didn't have the guidance, the environment, the ecosystem that helps really to have the right processes to help me manage things, filter out with antivirus to keep the things that's bad for my health out. That's what we created with the talents of endearment. So what we did here is we created a program to focus on the future and what is the best thing to happen next. Remember, the only thing that's going to keep you passionate, growing, excited is when you know and you can feel it and you can see it visually, virtually, that where you're going to be next. So what we did in that program, in Talents of Endearment, is show people and students where they should be next. But not us telling them. They do it on their own. They discover it on their own. Because the last thing you need to do is to train you to be me. We need to we train you to be you, because it is your dream. It is your life. It's your future. It's your career. But you're going to live with it. The future relates to your passion for people's aspirations that becomes your purpose. Things that keep connected to higher level of success. The more connected to people, when you start making people feel good, enjoy the things that they do with you, that's when you start really impacting them. Keeps motivating you. Okay. In branding, we have a say, good brands makes people feel good about you, great brands makes people feel great about themselves. But when you start really connecting yourself to how to make people feel great, think about an entertainer, a comedian, okay? And what does the comedian? The comedian has two rewards. One, he gets excited when people start laughing, and he gets the financial rewards for doing it. So make it your passion, how to make people feel great about themselves, no matter what you do in your life, because that becomes your drive. That becomes your positive prompts in you. So when we designed Talents of Endearment, we designed it to show students how to really make people feel great about themselves, and that becomes the drive, moving you when you go to sleep happy, when you wake up more excited, because now you have something very valuable that you're going to be doing. Think about it. How to build a network of people connected to their aspirations, generating the abundance of opportunities that is being buried there, that you haven't been connected to it. Imagine when now you are going to sleep, waking up, knowing all of this is in front of you, all of this is waiting for you. So when we thought of designing this program to keep our population, our students, whether they are students of high schools, colleges, businesses, professionals, and in order to start seeing ahead, but with everything that is connected from the world around them. So there is nothing impossible. Everything is you're already looking at opportunities, but you're not seeing them. You are not touching them. You are not working with them. What we do through Talents of Endearment, we create that for you, that environment, that processor. Now you start touching them, feeling them, and living that experience with them. What we do is we show students how to connect to people and the type of activities they start creating, designing to engage with them, to explore the number of opportunities that they have and discover the relevant ones to them. That makes them excited. Now I'm discovering constantly things that I really want to do and more of it. What is more exciting about it is now we show them how to filter between the positive and the negative and get rid of it. And focus on only the ones that are necessary to overcome the hype and meet reality, the positive reality. That's when the real success comes up into place. And allow them also to establish, to test it, whether it's socially desirable, you have the skills or not, and if not, where to get it as well. And whether it's economically viable as well. So all of this is important because now I'm starting being emotionally connected to something of a great value that the mind is registering all of those positive thoughts. That's what's going to keep your mind really moving further ahead. And what's important, basically, like I said, get rid of the cross and bring more eagles around you. That will define who you are. Your best source of new ideas. Your best friends could be good people, but they are not the right, may not be the right people that is going to lead you to success. They could potentially be a harm more than they are of good. We're not saying to get rid of them, but when you are running your life, your business, your ideas, your debate, you're exploring, they're not the one to keep them around. Socially, yes, but not the one around you. And keep it to yourself. Okay. You need people that tells it to you straight, with boldness, that will help you to carry on and make it better and bigger. And those will become your lifelong relationships. And that's what the kind of collaboration you need to help you build the future of your dream. Because what you really need to do is start programming your mind on the right set through the right processor that's going to help you get the future of your dream, that Rolls Royce, that $10 million house, or the new airplane that you are thinking of buying. And you need to start thinking of being a hero and a big achiever. With people, when we are connected to people's aspirations, becomes your passion, becomes your purpose, the future, the opportunities that you are doing, the collaborations. Now you have an ecosystem, a program in your life, being placed in your life, embedded in you, that is going to help you hit refresh at any time to stay on the positive tone for the rest of your life, inshallah. This is a story of a lion. Lion was created by Picasso, and the story of this lion, Picasso was in his lab. Okay, this lion is actually this being displayed in Chicago at the museum, and his student walked in and says, "Master, what is this?" He says, "This is a rock." The student said, "I know, I can see that. What are you going to do with it?" So the master said, "I'm going to bring out the lion." So the student, puzzled, looked at the lion and says, "This is going to be a tough task. How are you going to bring a lion out of a rock?" He says, "Actually, this is very simple. Only what I need to do is remove everything that does not look like a lion until the lion comes out. Only then you will be able to become that you." So what we do in Talents of Endearment, help you remove everything that is not you and focus on the things that is right for you, that's going to allow you to control it. Put everything in perspective to become relevant to everything. Now your life becomes important and relevant. And now you have a purpose that you are living for in your life. Become a game changer, changing the world. That's how you need to start thinking and feeling about. You're not the normal person that everybody think about. You're not 9-to-5 jobs. I want to be a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, a zillionaire. I want to become a leader. I want to become the next Amazon or the next Facebook or the next undiscovered opportunities maker. You need to start thinking that you are different. That's what we do through the Talents of Endearment program, to help every single student to become a game changer. Not a student that only the person that is just like anybody else. You're not like anybody else. You're special. The reason why you're special, because you're here with me today. Okay, that's how confident I am. You are special because I'm a special person, and as strong as I believe in myself, I also believe in you. I believe in your ability, because when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to my future. Also, I'm not talking to the normal person in my life that made a decision to spend time with me today. So think, hearts then minds. What drives the mind is the hearts, how you think, the courage, the bravery. That's what you really need to start doing, and that's what we do in Talents of Endearment. Help you strengthen that, bring that power in from within, that start managing your mind much stronger. We have a second lab of this year. The first one is closed. fortunately for us, that's going to start in January. The second one on February the 25th. These are the links for the lab, and we look forward to have you join us. In order to, if you think what we are doing to carve out of your life, to bring the lion out of you, then we encourage you to take that opportunity and join us on the 25th of this coming month of the Career Lab. It's for high school students and teachers, college students and faculties, fresh graduates and business professionals, because now you will have, whether you're a business person or a student, you will have the opportunities to work together with the wisdom of professionals and expert mentors that is going to be working with you. We turn you from normal to exceptionals in 33 days with a lifetime career support, which means you will never be alone throughout your life, period. And it's a one-time subscription that will give you also the platform to build your ecosystem and your community for 5 years. That will help you to grow as well and get the certification awards. And your mentors are, I'm one of them. If you like me, then you have all the good reasons for it to join our program. There is others also that's going to be joining us, and one of them is going to be Mike Salisbury, that they created the Michael Jacksons and the likes, to be one of our mentors. It's coming sessions in February. And what we also get that lifetime online community support, nonstop. Whenever you need you have a problem, you get the solution, the help that you need, and all of that for a scholarship fee of $120. No, the original price is $300, but it's $120 per person. That's 60% scholarship with a saving of $120. It's like $200 a month that you pay, and you never pay anything for the rest of your life. With all the community support that you're going to be getting, the help that you need, basically. So don't think small, think big. And when you really need to do is start focusing on how to transform your life. And I would like to take the opportunity, if any questions that you may have, please share with me. There's a couple of them that I see. Is there an age for change? No. Actually, we have a program that shows students, children from age of 11 to 18 to become an entrepreneur. They can do that. At younger age, at 7, they can do that. They can become nice. They can become the scientists. It's proven in the world. At age of 8, we have kids are in college studying medicine in the Philippines. Any questions? Okay, before we go, I would like to start a poll for you. Please rate the session. Okay, thank you. Rate the subject matter. Thank you. And rate the knowledge you gained after this webinar. Very nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate taking the time to be with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you see us. We see you at the 25th of February webinar. That's a session that's going to be coming up for 33 days. That's going to be very nice work. And when we end up this session, you're going to see a link that's coming to you with the page for that webinar information, the testimonials, everything that you might need. And if you have any question or you need help in any area, please feel free to write us. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully to see you soon. Stay safe and look forward to working together, inshallah. Thank you.